Hi, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Lit Lounge. Meet Megan, meet Stacy. I'm Deb, and we're here to tackle everything what's going on. Well, parts of what's going on in the bookish world because 2025 is doing your head in. So our show will be aired like at this time once a month. And let's go. We're starting with Amazon and Amazon's ban. Stacy, please kick it off and tell us what you think.
I think if someone is canceling their Kindle Unlimited subscription truly because it's a financial issue for them, right? Times are tough. This economy's in the toilet. I get that. You have
Mm.
to do what's best for you and your family. But if you're canceling your Kindle Unlimited subscription because you're trying to stick it to Jeff Bezos, the only people that you are hurting are the independent authors that rely on the income they get by having their books in Kindle Unlimited. A lot of indie authors, the majority of their income comes from Kindle Unlimited readers. And Jeff Bezos isn't even the CEO of Amazon anymore, so number one. And even if he were, you think he gives a rat's patootie about books that are being bought and sold on Amazon? Books have always been a loss leader for Amazon. They've never made money on books. They want you to get there, look at the books so that you'll go look at all the other things and spend your money. But truly the only people being negatively impacted by this are the indie authors.
Fair enough. So, what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong because I needed to do some research. So, we're banning Amazon. Sorry, guys. We're banning Amazon because of their DEI protocols. Is that the
I think
reason why it started? Or
I think
I
that's at least part of it. I'm not 100% sure. I just started seeing all these people going, I'm canceling my KU membership. Screw Jeff Bezos. And I'm like, huh? You're not screwing Jeff Bezos.
I don't know why people are doing it, to be honest. All I saw was people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting rid of Kindle Unlimited. I'm not buying any Kindle books." And then I'd see like all these authors coming on being like, "Hey, yo, you're hurting me. You say you love me. Please buy my books." And then having readers pretty much mansplain. What's the equivalent? Author-splain to authors
Yeah.
like, "Oh, just take your book wide." I mean, if that was easy.
They would have
Indie
already done it.
They would have already done it. Like, so you're asking these indie authors to one, write a book, and if they haven't done it before, learn how to write a book, the art of
hmm,
storytelling. Having to find somebody that's reputable to edit their book, all three types of editing, find proofreaders, having to figure out when I do an alpha read, when I do a beta read, how do I make a cover? How do I put this shit on Kindle? Oh, sorry. How do I put this on Kindle Unlimited? And now you want them to learn how to put all these things wide. Like,
Well, and that's the thing. The reason so many indie authors in particular use Kindle Unlimited is because it's easy, right? You have
hmm.
kind of a built-in audience with the number of subscriptions that they have. And some of these authors can't just create their own website, figure out how to produce the ebook and put it in a format that it can be read on a Kindle
Yeah.
mhm.
or the all the other ebooks that are out there. Um, they're not in bookstores. It's easy to say for the uninformed, it's easy to say go wide, but if you have even a modicum of understanding of what goes into publishing a book, it ain't that easy.
Yeah, it's like having two full-time jobs because a lot of indie authors they already have a full-time job, then they have this, which is like another full-time job. I'm just like, y'all are just
I think people jump on bandwagons
Hmm.
right? So somebody, whoever the first person that posted, oh, let's all cancel our Kindle Unlimited subscriptions, it caught fire, it went viral, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon without doing any research. They just, oh, KU must be bad now. I'll cancel my KU subscription. Look, I couldn't afford to read the amount I do if it wasn't for KU. And Amazon already loses money on my KU subscription because I read more books per month than I pay them for the subscription.
Hmm.
So if you
Yeah.
really want to stick it to Amazon and keep your KU, just read a metric ton of KU books a month. Actually, I think you only need to read about 10, and then it starts becoming a loss for Amazon and a bonus for you.
Well, that's it. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, isn't there another way? Like, Stace, you're talking about KU, but like normal paperbacks, hardbacks, like if we all ban Amazon, where the hell do you buy your books? And then everybody is like, oh, you can buy them in the bookstore. Not every indie author is in a bookstore. To
Yeah.
be honest, 98% of indie authors aren't in the bookstore.
Yeah.
Correct. My
And
preferred method of book buying is KU if it's there. If I'm going to buy a physical copy, paperback, hardcover, whatever, I will first look to see if the author has their own website where they sell it direct. I will
hmm,
buy from them direct before I buy it from Amazon. Um, or I will see if local indie bookstores carry that because my indie bookstore carries a lot of local indie authors. So
yeah.
that's my next. So Amazon's always my last resort for a physical book, but I'm
Hmm.
not gonna buy it from Amazon if that's the only place I can get it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, let's take and it isn't an indie author, so sorry, guys, but the new Hunger Games. Okay, I need a hard copy. I don't do paperbacks. Here in Australia, they're not selling the bloody hardcover, and the only place they can get it from that is shipped to me is bloody Amazon. And I'm goddamn to stop Amazon from buying books. You know? Like, yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. It's the worst thing you can do to hurt people.
Yep.
Like at the end of the day, authors are out there trying to survive and make money. And even if you're buying it from Amazon,
Hmm.
you're still supporting them. They're still earning money from you buying the book. And isn't that the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
it makes more of a difference to their life than it does to Jeff Bezos or
Yeah.
whoever is the CEO or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like a one little drop in the pot for them. Like, for an author, it's like, oh my God, that's great. Like,
I mean, they're already, the big problem is so when the way Amazon pays, particular on KU, I'm just talking about KU, how Amazon pays authors, it's per page, right?
hmm.
And that amount per page fluctuates based on how many current Kindle Unlimited subscribers there are. So when a whole bunch of people canceled their Kindle Unlimited subscriptions, the per page rate for authors also dropped. So it hit them, it was like a double whammy because not only do you have fewer people who are downloading the book and reading it and giving me the page reads, but now you're getting paid less per page read because so many people canceled their subscriptions because it was something like half a cent per page and it dropped down to like zero point 0.2 or zero point 0.3 cents per page.
It's
It,
not
it was
worth
it
it.
was a pretty significant drop on the
Yeah.
per page rate when so many people canceled their subscriptions at once.
Hmm. And I think like what I have seen on social media is the amount of authors just taking their book off because it just doesn't make any sense. They're losing money. They're losing a
But
lot of
especially
money.
especially when you get into the paperbacks and like Ingram and all of that. Like, I mean, that could be a whole other discussion, but at least with Amazon print, you don't have the return issues that you have with
Mm.
Ingram. But That's why so many indie authors are only available on Amazon, because they don't have to run the risk of having books returned from bookstores through Ingram Sparks and end up owing money to Ingram Sparks. I mean, as it is, even on paper books, most authors only make a couple of dollars per paperback. And don't even get me started on the audio and Audible. That's even worse.
Yes. And then the amount you actually have to pay to find a voice actor, and I don't know what, which can be a discussion for another time as well. But the money that's going in is just not coming back. And I think, like, even for an indie author, and let's assume that the indie author is doing it right. So the book went through all of the editing stages. There's an artist involved in your cover, and so on and so on. It's costing a shit loads of money. We can say poo in an offensive way, okay? But like putting it on Kindle Unlimited or selling your book through Amazon in paperback, hardcover, Audible, that's how they, maybe, if they're lucky, get the money back.
Yeah.
Especially on Audible. Audiobooks are astronomically expensive to produce and make, and Amazon keeps 75%. Authors make 25% on an audio. And you're talking, if it's duet with popular narrators, you're talking tens of thousands to produce.
Well, yeah, if you're going to have like a popular narrator, it's
Amazon's royalty rate for audio is predatory. So I get why people get mad at Amazon, but again, you're just shooting the authors in the foot if you decide you're never going to buy another book from Amazon.
Well,
they're going to stop writing.
Well, because it's not worth it anymore. Like, even if you a writer, and I know that most writers, they write because they love writing. Okay, it's that creative output that they need. But when when I'm working for 2 years on a book, and then actually, like, maybe I want to publish this instead of keeping it for my family, because nobody cares if you keep it for your family. But if you want to publish it and you're spending so much money on your book, that money needs to come back somehow. And then you're happy when you sell more books and you actually earn something on that book. And when you have a full-time job and everybody is tackling Amazon, like, who came up with this brilliant idea anyway? We want to know. If you know who started this whole witch hunt, that it's not hurting Amazon at all, leave a comment.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's the, and like, I get it. Like, I get the whole equal rights thing, and I get, like, what I understand is that Amazon was one of the first companies that got rid of the equality kind of crap. But you actually think they will hire more people when everybody is banning it? No, they will fire more people because we don't need that many people because we're getting boycott. So it's not just the authors, it's everybody that's selling their products, like small business owners that's selling their products through Amazon. You're hurting them. Like, there must be another way. If you want to make your point, don't hurt people in the process. And this, what is happening now, it's only hurting small businesses, indie authors.
And it's funny and kind of ironic, because when Amazon first came on the scene, it was books first, right? They didn't sell anything other than books when they first came on the scene. And then it opened up to all these other products. And then people got all up in arms that, they're just another big box store like Walmart and they're going to shut down all the local mom and pops.
Mm.
And that probably happened to an extent, but as Amazon has grown, now you have the small mom and pops who sell their products on Amazon.
Exactly.
And unless you're paying attention when you're ordering, you don't know if you're ordering from Amazon Direct or if you're ordering from the small mom and pop. If you know where to look, you can see that information. But most people are just finding whatever product they're looking for and ordering it, and they don't know where it's coming from, and they don't know where it's being shipped from, and they're fine with that. But if you're gonna say you're for the indie author or even the traditionally published author and you're for small business, then you don't do something that's counterproductive to the people that you claim to support. And people are lazy. They don't do any research. They just see some post popping off on social media and jump on the damn bandwagon. It's irritating, in case you couldn't tell. I'm irritated.
And I think also it might be from not only DEI, but I just remembered like on Kindle they got rid of the direct download, like you don't own your ebooks anymore.
But you've never owned your ebooks.
Yeah. So like people are getting upset about that too. And so they're probably like, oh, let's stick it to them.
Yeah, but let's
it amuses me because people are stupid. Okay. If you when you download an ebook, whether it's KU or you're paying $4.99 for it, right? When you download that ebook, it says right there on the page that you are buying a license. And it has always said that. You have never, in the history of Amazon, you have never owned an ebook that you have purchased. All that you have purchased is a license to read that book. Amazon has always had the ability to take that book back from you should they desire to do so. That's always been the case. Now, on older Kindles, you used to be able to plug your Kindle into your computer and download your library. So you would have it on your laptop. I don't remember what year it was, but several years ago, they removed that ability from the newer generation Kindles. There was a workaround for it. People figured out the workaround, and that's fine. You've paid for your $5 to Amazon. You've only bought a license, but if you want to download the book and you knew how to do the workaround, more power to you. But now Amazon has removed the workaround. So, why are people surprised?
Yeah, but I mean, so they're upset about this, right? But then they don't like it when people pirate books. And that's like one of the ways that people put it on pirating sites. Again, oh, we love authors, but oh, shoot. Now I can't do this and back my computer. Oh, fuck them authors now, even though I say I love them.
The only thing I think with that is that there maybe should be a choice. Like if you want an ebook on your Kindle and you want to own the ebook, pay for it. Pay that $24 what you normally would pay for a paperback or a hardcover.
Here's the issue I have with that is traditional publishers now are pricing the ebooks the same price, sometimes more than the paperbacks, but you are still only buying a license.
Well, that's
look, if you're going to charge $20 for a paperback and $20 for an ebook, I'm buying the paperback all day long because that I actually own. And that's the solution, right? If you want to pay for a book and own it forever, buy a physical copy because you have never, not once in the history of ebooks, ever actually owned the ebook. All you have ever owned is a license. And just because you don't read the terms of service or you don't read the fine print on your order page is not Amazon's fault. And I'm not like pro Amazon. I know it sounds like I am, but they've been transparent about that from the beginning.
You're not pro Amazon. You're just anti-stupid.
Correct. That's it.
I know
nobody reads terms of service.
We actually want people to watch the show. But just let it out. Don't worry. To be honest,
I'm here to educate people, Deb.
No, I don't like the level of stupidity either. And like they should change that. Like with the ebook, if you pay a full price, that license should be gone. You should own that bloody ebook. And if you want to download it and fuck all, that's it. But the pirating is the biggest issue. Like,
and I think that's why they've decided to crack down on it.
oh,
Because the other issue with
definitely.
Amazon and piracy is Amazon publishes the authors. They don't they don't punish or go after anybody that actually pirated the book. If Amazon,
Mhm.
especially if they're in KU, if they're in KU and Amazon gets wind of or finds out that that book is on another site, even if it's a pirate site, they will shut down the author's Amazon account, the whole account, put all their funds that might be in KDP on hold, not pay them, and the author did absolutely nothing wrong. If you want to be pissed off at Amazon, be pissed off about that.
Yeah. Yep.
What author would go and put their book on a pirate site where they can't make
Some
any
of them
money?
would.
Like,
That's it's just
No.
idiocy on Amazon's part. Like, why are you going to punish the author? They didn't steal their own work.
No, but they can get restored, but they need to prove that it's actually their book, which is a pain. Like, you actually can see it. And like, I think they're doing it to protect work, not that, for example, Stacy, you published a book, even if it's on Amazon. Even if you publish the book on Amazon, I copy your work. I just throw another title on it. The moment you say, or I say, oh, Amazon, there is this woman, Stacy. She stole my work. They will shut you down, although I stole your work. Like,
Yeah,
there isn't enough investigation
no, that's the
going
problem.
on.
Because it's the author that gets punished twice. First, their book is taken down, their Amazon account gets at a minimum placed on hold, and it's the author that has to jump through all the hoops to prove that someone stole their work. Amazon doesn't do any investigation at all. You have to give all the information to them, and then they'll make a decision.
Yeah. And most of the time, it's not in the artist's favor. Like, that's the one of the biggest thing from Amazon that I don't like. It's the protecting of the author and their funds. Like, who are you to close the account and then keep all the money?
Yeah,
you emming effer.
that money
It's
was
not
earned.
your work. So I would sue the shit out of them, that's for sure. And even if I can't afford a bloody lawyer, you get 10%, motherfucker, of the whole $200 that I'm. But that is the thing. Like, authors are pushed into a corner, and they just can't get out of it. And like, Amazon is taking it all, and like, pork. Like, that's what I really don't like about Amazon. Like, the pay, and it's what you said with the Audible. It's redonkulous how much money they take from the author. Like, those are
They're
practices.
fighting. Authors are fighting a multi-front war with like a broken bayonet. I mean, they almost don't stand a chance.
No.
Yeah, it's like they're putting out little fires everywhere. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, and you wonder why they keep on doing it. I'd be sitting there like, I don't know if I could keep up with it, in all honesty. Like, I'd just be like, fuck this noise. Sorry.
It's why I don't write. I have ideas, I have stories, I have great books planned in my head. I don't want any part of trying to figure out how to publish, marketing. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it is a pain. And like, we start off with the boycott of Amazon. Like, even though Amazon is being a little bish about certain things, it's still your bloody income for most of the authors. And yeah, there are other options. Okay, you can go to Ingram's Park, but you will have an issue with the return.
Because most bookstores are not going to accept books unless you allow returns.
Yeah, but then Like like traditional publishers have the same issue though. Like it's not just for indie authors. Like if you have the bookstore, and let's say you have an independent bookstore, and I'm buying 20 books, and I only sell two. Like I want to keep my bookstore as well. If I do that with 50 plus authors, and I can't return the book, pooh,
But the
that will
difference
be an
with a
issue.
traditionally published author is they've got the publisher handling all of that. The
Yes.
publisher is the one that's either going to accept the return. Like it's not, it's apples and oranges as far as that goes with indie and trad publishing.
Yeah,
Well,
plus,
yes, but they handle maybe the returns. But let's say a bookstore orders 20 books of your traditional published, and they only sell two. You actually think you start writing because hey, I have a contract for my book. Girl, it's traditional publishing. They will drop you as hard as you came in because you're not selling.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
it's not that there's not pressure on traditionally published authors as well. If they have a book that bombs, there's going to be fallout from that. But when that book launches, they're not dealing with the distribution
no.
and all of that stuff. If it bombs, they've got some other issues, but and they're not dealing with the marketing. Yeah.
Even if you're traditional published, you need to market yourself.
Yeah, and they do, but they also have, I mean, they just have more support than an indie author.
Yes, especially if they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just beginning, your level of support is a bit less. But you're right, as an indie author, you have to do so much more.
You gotta wear a lot of hats.
Yes. And you need to have patience. Like if you decide to publish somewhere else or with Ingram Spark, you need to keep your money aside. You can't spend it.
No, yeah. This, if you're an indie author, especially a new indie author in this climate right now, anything you make when you publish goes into a separate account that you do not touch. You cannot count on this as income for your family.
No.
Not until you're established, and even then, still.
Yeah, even then now there's like, people that are making like six figures and now they're like, oh no, this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that massive drop in KU subscriptions really, I mean, I was, scrolling through socials and seeing authors post what they made in December versus January, and then sometimes it was more than half less.
I think it's really sad to see authors giving up. They're just giving up. And
and then they can't like afford to like go to like all these book cons and stuff because they don't have the money to travel. And then, all these people are probably
And it's a vicious cycle because you do the book cons, your name gets out, people hear of you, they want to buy your books, you make money. But if you can't sell your books to make the money to get into the book cons, it's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Because book cons are expensive for authors and sometimes for readers, depending on which one it is. But it is not cheap.
Nope.
No, definitely not. And I think as well, like, because we're living in such international world, like, if I'm writing, I don't see myself traveling to the United States to do a book tour. It's still your book needs to go out and your name needs to go out. And let's be honest, the United States is one of the biggest countries in the world buying books.
Yeah, I think it's even harder for international authors because, if you're not going to the States, you're not selling as many books as you could.
No. So what should we do then? Well, bloody keep your Amazon. Like, it's
Find
not
something
easy.
else to ban. Find something else to ban. Just I don't know, like ban bananas.
Yeah.
Nobody wants those.
What?
My dogs would be very offended.
Oh, well. Sorry, puppies.
Yeah,
It just
but like
boggles.
I get the points. Like I get like, oh, this is going wrong. We need to stand up for, or that is not fair. We need to stand up for. Yes, but you stand up for something in a way that doesn't hurt the same people you try to stand up for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
That's just what makes this one so insane. I love indie authors. Don't buy books on Amazon.
Stop your
next thing
KU
you know,
subscription now.
they're gonna start banning oxygen. No, we're not gonna breathe that anymore. Let's really show them. Well, I can't.
And
I can't.
the whole bandwagon. You're right, Stace. Like the whole bandwagon. Like, how is it that there aren't? How? How can you really say you support something and I support small businesses, I support indie authors, I support this, and
So many
wow.
people, it truly is the bandwagon effect because so many people just see something and be like, and they'll see it from maybe a friend of theirs, right? And they'll be like, I trust this friend. So if they are saying we should do this, then they're right and I should do it too. And then it just snowballs. Because, so many people there, independent thought is a rarity these days. And nobody wants to do any research. God forbid you have to spend 5 minutes of your time to look at an issue and see if it's something you want to support or not.
Well, that is the thing. Like, I think that 93% of the people banning Amazon at the moment, stopping their KU subscription, don't have a clue why. Like, I needed to look it up. Like, why? Why are we banning Amazon? What happened? And to be honest, it's still not clear. Like, was it because of, oh, we're standing with artists? I don't know what. Is it because they actually are one of the first companies that stopped the DEI? It's like, well, why are we banning Amazon? Did I ask that question already? I think I asked the question already.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and
I
like
need
we're
to
just like, we
know.
think it's this. We don't know. Like, and then like when you do educate these people, like, oh yeah, the indie author's gonna lose money, then they don't even like switch sides. They're just like, well, they can go wide. It's like a lack of empathy and like, oh, it's not happening to me. I don't have to deal with this. Like, just do this. It's so easy. No, it's not, Gretchen. It's not. Okay, it's not. Like, show some empathy. Like, it's people don't care about it until it affects them. So like, people will
That's
care.
exactly it.
So people start caring once their favorite indie authors are like, bump this shit, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna produce any more stuff. Like, and
sorry, I know
like,
book 3 ended on a cliffhanger, but you're not getting book 4 because I can't afford to do it anymore.
yeah, like if I was an indie author right now and I had to quit, I'd be so petty. I'd be so petty.
Yeah, I'd release one more book with all the cliffhangers and be like, oh, sorry. This is what y'all wanted. You didn't want to support. You didn't want to buy my books on Amazon, so here's what you get. My final parting the shot.
I'd find the people in comments saying, "Just go wide," and I blast them out like this.
So
person.
what are we going to do? We're going to ban people.
Not ban them, but just out them. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, Deb. That's how this works.
I'm one tiny person on social media. I don't have like the largest following. I have the smallest following. I'm somewhere in the middle. But the only thing I know to do is when I see another person posting about banning Amazon, I just comment and I try to be nice about it. I try. Yeah, I don't always succeed.
Big try.
It really depends on my mood at the time. But I try to help educate people going, you realize the only person you're hurting is the author, right? You're not hurting anybody else but the author that you claim to support. So maybe think about that again. And sometimes I just outright call them stupid, but depends on the day or the hour, really.
Seconds for me.
I don't know. I'm just scrolling and I'm like, another one? And here it comes. Most of the time when I comment, like I engage, and it's like, why are you banning Amazon? I don't get the bloody answer.
Because they don't know.
I get a heart. Like I don't want an heart. I want an answer.
You're asking too much of them, Deb. You're asking too much.
You're asking them to use their brain.
Not
They'd
one.
rather just be lemmings.
It's ridiculous, to be honest. So, get back on Amazon and buy bloody books. Okay? I don't give a rat's behind if it's an ebook, an audiobook, a paperback, a hardcover. Buy the bloody books. Because without you guys buying the books, we don't really have a lot of authors left, to be honest.
You'll lose all your indies.
Then it's complaining that, oh, there isn't any comic books coming out. Guess who to blame?
Yeah.
What isn't clicking, Stephen? Like, come on. Anyways, moving on. Moving on from Amazon. And here we go. So, I'm ready. Tori Woods,
That
alias Lauren Ashley, yes. And we need to be careful here to not get in any defamation issue. But
I just have one question.
Oh, Jesus.
What was she thinking?
Well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She wasn't. That's the answer. See, and this is why it's important, I think, for indie authors to have friends, like actual friends that don't blow smoke up their butts. To be like, hey girl, you know this thing? Like, that's wrong. You know that's wrong, right? You know, I think she didn't have people either on her side telling her, hey, well, first of all, she should know better, but to save her from herself, have people in your corner that'll say, hey, that's not cool. Like,
okay, hold on, because there are maybe a few people that has no idea who Tori Woods is or what the hell she has done.
Oh.
Yeah, I interrupted the intro. Sorry.
Stacy. It's Stacy again. So, Megan, please, because explain what happened.
Okay, so there is a indie author named Tori Woods. That's her pen name. Her real name is, I guess, Lauren Ashley or something.
That's another pen name.
Oh, okay. So we just don't know what her real name is. Okay, cool.
There's a People article that I just read that has it, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay, well, she released a book out, I think, to ARC readers, and there were no trigger warnings or anything like that to signal that anything crazy was going to happen. And all these ARC readers were like, yo, wait a minute. This guy pretty much said that he fell in love with this girl when she was 3 and he was like 27. And yeah. And there was, you know, some people talking about it. And people started, I think, commenting on her page, and then she started deleting all of her social medias. And then it came out that she had been in the hot seat before for plagiarizing another author with like a previous release. And then
that was under the Lauren Ashley pen name.
Yeah. And then come to find out, like, well, I found out this morning, but apparently she was, I think, arrested because she lives in Australia, and there's Australian laws that are like very, very, very strict, and they pretty
Well,
much
I
say,
think it's all over the world, isn't it? Like the moment you, um, how did they say it nicely? Like I saw the press conference. So she was distributing child pornography material.
I'm not sure in the US if a fictional book would have prompted the investigation that the
yeah,
Australians have done.
To be honest,
yeah,
I
And good
don't.
on them. Good on y'all for doing it.
I don't think we normally would. I think there was so much heat going on that they
oh yeah,
actually did.
people
Yeah.
reported
Well,
her, like,
yes, but
and then I think it also didn't look really good because her daytime job is like some Christian thing or something.
At some place called Baptist Care. Yeah. They
Yeah,
fired her too.
yeah, yeah, girl.
well, that was a bit, and that's why she probably has like a pen name. But that said, and this will be the most unpopular opinion, and please bring on the hate. But what I don't like, I don't agree with what she wrote, okay? I don't like the whole bloody taboo scene anyway, and that's my issue. Because she is called out because of, oh, he said in the book he liked her when she is 3. But then we don't make a point about Daddy. Sorry, now I'm getting fired up about Daddy loving his daughter and then forking his daughter, no matter what age it is. That's wrong. Like, why are we like, oh yeah, but that's hot? Well, please, because he probably has been fantasizing about a girl from when she was small as well. And when you actually having sex with your daughter, you probably did it before as well. So even if it's fictional, I think there needs to be like a line of certain things you just can't.
Right about? Yeah, I don't disagree. I've never I like dark romance. And I read a lot of stuff that is, if it ever happened in the real world, the people would be in jail, right?
Mhm.
And I really don't have really any triggers, but what I will not read is incest. Yeah. No, not doing that. Now, father, daughter, mother, son, I'm not reading it. Brother, sister, I'm not reading it. I have read some that they grew up like she called him uncle when she was growing up because he was a family friend, but they're not related by blood, right?
I can't even read.
Like that is well, it is a bit different, but what I don't like, and I don't agree with her, like I think if you write shit like that, like I read dark romance as well, okay? I read thrillers or psychological thrillers that's going really to the dark side. Like even when I write some very dark shit that if the FBI comes at my door or the federal Australian police is like, woman, we need to have a conversation about your
Erase your search history.
about your Google search bar. But but there I have a line. And now Tori Woods is getting all this shit because he said in the book, oh, but I fantasized about her from when she was 3. Yeah, that's a bit
And
disgusting, but
it's not her father though, it's her father's friend.
yes, and he didn't do anything with her when she was growing up. They did things after her being 18. So yes, she wrote that he was fantasizing about it, what is already weird. Okay, so I don't like the book, but he didn't physically do anything with her. That's my understanding, because I'm not reading this shit anyways.
No, I mean, I think it never actually got published, right? It was just an ARCs that went out, and I know she had the pre-order up, but I know she took that down. Or Amazon
Cover
took it
got
down.
me too. The cover got me.
Well, yeah,
but then talking about, oh yes, here. Okay, so I actually looked up some of the bloody taboo tropes, and I actually looked at like father daughters, and probably you can't even see it, but what the fuck is that? Daddy's always right. Well, if I look at the small shoes on this cover, she isn't 18, is she now? But hey. So
Yeah, it's like subliminal messaging. Like it's just like uh this book cover was little ABC blocks.
yeah, baby blocks.
That my kid was just playing with like a year ago. Ugh. Ugh.
So when I like the cover that I just showed you, and I read the blurb, and like Daddy just did something with her when she was 18 and over. But when I look at the cover and I see the shoes of a bloody standing on her tippy toes with the sockies and the things. So what is she, 10? 9?
I mean, I wouldn't read it either, but I think the question you have to ask is, in that book that you just showed, when does the inappropriate relationship happen? I get what you're saying, that it's implied on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
When does it happen?
Yeah, but it happened when she was 18. But then in her book,
But does it mention that he fantasized about her when she was 10?
I have no idea. I'm not reading it.
And neither am I. But that was, I think, the uproar with Tori Woods. She mentions that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
and then who knows, she probably even mentioned like he probably groomed her too. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Let's come on. The moment you're fucking your own daughter when she is 18, you have been probably grooming her before as well.
You've groomed her whole life. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I don't like is, even if it's not written down, the whole implication is there. Okay? The moment you fuck your daughter, fuck me. The moment you fuck your son, excuse the language, we are getting so banned. It's pissing me off because, like, even when it says, oh, but I didn't fantasize about her, it's still there. You're still whitewashing child abuse and child molestation by reading those books.
It's giving Woody Allen.
Yeah.
And everybody hates him. Like, it's giving Woody.
There's a place for dark romance, right? But this isn't that. So this isn't even dark romance. This is taboo.
It's taboo. Yeah.
You know, and I was scrolling through socials earlier, and somebody was saying, well, what's the difference between this and, you know, things like Haunting or Hunting Adeline? Okay, first, everybody on Haunting and Hunting Adeline were adults, okay? Consenting adults, even if you didn't realize there was consent at the time, okay? And hell, Zane Meadows would have killed this guy anyway, because what he did was hunt down and kill pedophiles. Okay, but the difference is, nobody in that book was under the age of 18. And in most dark romances, or at least the ones I read, it's all adults. And that's the difference.
Well, I think, like, and again, I don't read them, but they're all adults as well. But I think with Taboo, it's going further. Okay, it's not just, oh, on page she is 18. It just doesn't work like that. And when you make a stand, Here we go again. Hypocrites. When you make a stand against child molestation, child abuse, it doesn't have to stand on the page. When you read a book and you're buying a book, making it so great that daddy is sleeping with his daughter, you are actually saying, oh, well, that's okay. But hey, it's not standing on the pages that she was 15 when he first came into her room. You hold on. I'm back. You guys hear me?
No. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, but before
But you
I couldn't.
heard it? No, I muted myself, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Like
You
I
muted for a
can
second.
say, I can say that on national TV, but like again, people need to read what they like. I don't care, but those things, no, it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
no, I think that's a line you just don't cross.
Exactly. Like even if it's, and she wrote it down. Okay, she was saying, oh, he was fantasizing about her when she was 3, but he didn't do anything physical. But I
Still,
why
the
you need to put it in the book? But
Right.
then
And that's the issue too, because if he was like you said, if he was fantasizing about her since she was 3, then he has groomed her entire life. It's not like he had an accident, got amnesia, woke up and didn't know it was his own daughter, right? Like that's not what happened.
I think what made a lot of people angry as well was that she stole work from somebody else.
Yeah.
And like
She's just
it's
problematic all the way around.
sure, but then like what I don't like is having the witch hunt. But then when you
Well,
look at like when you cross the line, okay, and you're reading certain taboo books, you're as bloody forking guilty of fucking shit happening. Shit! I said it again. Excuse the language. Please, Stacey, take over.
if you knowingly purchase a book where you know that that is the subject matter, you are putting your support behind that author by giving them your money and telling them that's okay. Now, people may think that I'm bad because I do like reading Haunting Adeline, the Lord series from Chantal Tessier. I like a lot of this dark romance where the consent is questionable. But it's not a line in the sand for me. This is a line in the sand for me because no matter, there's not any situation that I can think of in which something like that would be okay. There's just not. Look, I'm all people read what you want to read, write what you want to write, but you don't do those things in a vacuum, right?
No.
Actions have consequences.
But I don't think you just just pull one author out either. Like,
well, no, I mean, if you know of others who are writing the same kind of crap,
and I think that is it. Like the moment you read, and don't give me the BS about, but she's 18. You're disgusting. Okay, when you're a 59-year-old father touching your 18-year-old daughter, I don't give a fuck that she is 18.
Yes, it's grooming. Like,
great. And I mean, and the issue there was
people.
like, I don't have issues with age gaps necessarily, but they're not related. Like, I don't read age gaps in which they're related. Like, even if it's a 30-year-old and a 70-year-old, they're not related. That's the difference.
Mm. Yeah. And I think like when you know how the cycle works, especially the grooming, or when you look at child molestation, child trafficking, and all that shit, it starts so early on. So even when you write she's 18, everybody knows she wasn't just 18, was she? No. What one morning you woke up with a big and like, ooh, look at my daughter now. No, you motherfuckers. Shit.
We'll just put a language warning in front of this one. It'll be fine.
I'm doing my best here.
Or we just edit it and have like a big old bleep
No.
whenever she says it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Or some other type of sound, like maybe a quack.
There was an episode of SpongeBob where every time SpongeBob went to swear, it was the dolphin sound.
That's what I was going with.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think she's earned every consequence she's facing right now.
oh, definitely. Definitely. Like, and this is not me sticking up for her personally. Absolutely not. Like, the moment you write that kind of garbage, okay, you deserve the investigation, but I don't think it should be just her. Like, the amount of books that I found in a short time with covers that you're like, yeah, she's 18, isn't she? It's sickening, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the other fallout from all of this, the cover designer hadn't read the book, didn't have any idea what the book was about. She was just hired to design a cover. It was given parameters on what the author wanted the cover to be, and so she designed the cover. And now she's getting like hate and death threats, and the fallout isn't just for the author. There was somebody else too. I don't know if it was the editor or no, it couldn't have been the editor. They read the book. Somebody else, I can't remember what it was, that maybe did some artwork. I don't know, but somebody else, the same thing. Like, they didn't read the book. They had no idea what Tori specifically, and she even admitted this in her apology, and I use that term loosely, that she posted on Insta before she deleted her account, that she admitted that she did not tell anybody who was working on this with her, as far as cover art and all that, what the book was about. She intentionally kept them in the dark because she knew. You can't tell me that, oh, I didn't think they needed to know. No, you purposely did this because you knew they would not work with you if they knew the subject matter of this book.
On the other hand,
I wonder about the editors too. Like, you know, like, no, like, it makes me wonder
about us editors. But if I'm an editor and I'm editing this book, to be honest, if I not getting the full trigger warnings, you will just get it straight back. Like, sorry, but I'm not editing this. But that's a line for you. Then an editor, if she accepts to edit this book, she can say, maybe you should take this out because it's not really like acceptable. But
I'm not trying to throw the editors down like down the shitter. I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of wondering if this is like a Sophie Lark type of thing where the editors probably told her, hey, you may want to take this out, and then she not listen, but then in the back of her mind, she knows, oh, I can't tell these cover artists what this shit's about.
Well, that's the cover artist is like a completely different story than an editor. Like an editor probably would have said, "Oh, maybe you should take that out."
Yeah.
Like I would have given it back. But let's say you have an author or an editor that's doing taboo books or shit like that. They probably would have said you should take it out. But we suggest. We don't take it out for them. And I think that's a misunderstanding of people as well. Like, oh, look at that editor. Oh, we won't work with her again. It's not her fault. She is suggesting. Editors suggest. It's up to the author if they will get rid of it, yes or no.
Yeah, and
it's not up to us.
It was probably the editor probably told her, hey, you might want to take this out. And then she didn't listen, probably.
And when you look at cover design, to be honest, 99% of cover designers never read the book.
No.
They get like a short thing of what an author wants without an author actually saying what the book is about. Like if I'm like my book I'm writing on my work in progress and I want to go to an artist, I'm saying what I see as a cover, and that's what I want him to make. I'm not saying shit about what's going on. I'm just saying
You want
to
a
him,
house with a window, with a girl in the window,
and
with
a
like yellow light
silhouette.
behind it.
Yes,
Sorry, I had to.
let's go for that because it's so original.
It really draws you in. It makes you
Mhm.
want to read a
So
book but you realize that you're probably just wanting to read a book because you think it's some other book you heard about, but really it's a different book. But the covers are so similar that you cannot tell them apart.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an artist. Like I don't understand. And here we go again with stupidity.
I
People,
think it's I think it's because the general public and readers, if they're not on the other side of reading, right? If they've never done anything in publishing or cover design or even, I mean, even art readers wouldn't necessarily
no.
know all of this stuff, but
Mm.
people, I don't think the general public understands that a cover artist is literally there just to make a cover. They don't need to know the contents of the book. They only need to know what the author has a
Once,
vision
yes.
for their cover. Because that's all they're giving the cover artist is I want it this color,
Yeah.
I want these elements, I want it to look that's
Then
all they're getting.
you have this cover artist that making it or putting the blocks on, and she can think, oh, it's a book for kids, or
Right. She
maybe
has
it's a
no idea.
horror. You don't know. Like they just don't know. What is the theme? What do you want, and what do you want the cover to say? What needs to stand out? That's it.
Yep.
Like 99% doesn't know what the whole story is about. If well, we would probably ask what genre it is, but
But they wouldn't necessarily need to know that to create the
no,
cover.
no. Like
And
if she is just saying, I have this in my head, I want blocks that spell out daddy, I don't give fuck shit. I did it again.
We'll just see a lot of editing in your future.
No, I'm not doing it.
Content warning right at the beginning.
no
maybe
dolphin
we
sounds for us. No dolphin
maybe we
sounds.
should actually hire an editor or some video editor to go over these things. Ugh, gosh, I'm dropping things as well. I can't stand it. To be honest, it makes me angry. And I think there is a difference with dark romances. And when you read epic fantasy or things like that, like how many times you see women getting raped in books and things like that. And yes, it's dark. And no, it's not everybody's cup of tea, and it shouldn't, but it's life. Shit bloody happens. But writing about incest and all those kinds of things, there needs to be a line.
I don't
Okay.
disagree.
And
Yeah.
if you are actually against these kind of things, stop buying it. Like you're supporting it anyway, and the lamest excuse, but she was above 18. Yeah, well, sure she was.
Yeah, I'm not reading any book in which the main character, any romance book in which the main character is under 18. I'm just not doing it. Now, YA is different, right? Because it's not usually the YA books aren't generally are not explicit. You don't have on page
No.
sex scenes because it's YA. But I'm not like I said, I don't really have a lot of triggers, but I'm not reading any book in which if there's going to be on-page explicit scenes, that anybody is under 18. Just not reading it.
Yeah.
No.
Because it's gross.
Yeah, but it's like thinking further ahead as well. It's not just the age thing. And I think that when you really think about it, you know that this shit is going back forever. That's what I'm saying. Even if it's not on page, you know.
Yeah, it's the implication. Like,
And you are supporting it. And standing up now, like, oh yeah, but this, and that. The amount of book reviews I see with daddy daughter. Okay, because it's spicy. Yeah, people
yeah,
really. And
you're
now
taking like
you're
But
you're taking
again, there's a difference between a kink book about, they call it DDLG, I think, daddy daughter, but they're not related, number one. And it really is just a very large age gap. And there's a dominance issue. There's a power play, a power dynamic at play. But they're not related. And they're
But
all
that's
over
it.
age. And it all started when they were all over age.
Yeah, but well, yeah. Like the only time I can be like, if I'm 18, okay, and my mom is marrying this dick and he likes me. Okay. But I didn't grow up with him.
Right.
If it's a stepdad, and how many times are them coming? Oh, but he's not related. No, but he was watching you when you were 8, mother.
yeah, and that's like a whole like weird power dynamic thing. That's like, ugh.
Like there is some points that when you know a child have grown up with somebody coming to a certain age and then, oh, out of the blue my stepdaddy liked me. No, he did not. Out of the blue. Disgusting. No. And I think I don't know, maybe the big issue I have is with, okay, like, who is reading it? Who is reading these things and who is actually getting ideas in their heads and walking into their daughter's bedroom at night? That's the problem I have with these kind of books.
And you'll find the people that defend it are be like, well, it's fiction. It's fiction.
No.
Okay. The book might be fiction, but if you have someone who is already leaning towards that kind of behavior and they read a book like that, it's going to push them over the edge.
Yeah, like
But
there are some crazy people.
I wonder, I'm like you, I wonder.
They need to do what they wanted to do.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I wonder who's reading that shit too, right? Because it sure as hell ain't me. But if you're picking up that kind of book, I just makes me wonder. Makes me wonder what's going on in your head and what's going on in your home.
I can think how anything where it's like, oh, this guy's noticed her from like the age of 3 and then now she's 18 and like he's fallen in love with her or whatever. Like things like this happen in like real life that's like bad. It's bad. And then these authors go and they're like, hey, I know this is bad, but let me just put this little sexy spin on it. No, you can't put sexy spins on certain things. It's just
And that's why, and people will argue, well, there's non-consent in other dark romance. Again, at some point you just draw a line in the sand, right? And I'm with you, Deb. This is where my line is.
Well, that's the thing. Like with other things, when you read it and dark romance, and there is maybe I think the biggest issue is the non-consent. Like when, like that can put bloody ideas in people's heads as well. It's like, yeah, and that's the same with movies and the same with things, and I don't know what it's, but not with kids.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Children.
Yeah, it's exponentially worse.
And even the implication of, but they were kids. Like 3 years ago, you were still, no.
Mm-mm.
No. So,
Yep.
yes, I agree. Although it doesn't seem like it, that Tori is facing a bit of Australian. Although I'm wondering what they actually can do, though.
I don't know, but she's in her FAFO phase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the book will never see the light of day, but
Yeah.
And she's probably not gonna be able to get a job for a while. I mean,
yeah.
like she's pretty much she shot herself
She
in the
has
foot.
royally screwed herself over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And
this is gonna be hard to come back from. Like,
she has no one to blame but herself.
Mm-hmm.
True. And what was it about? Like, I was really into the whole subject of the matter, but then she stole a book as well.
Yeah, apparently she's been accused of plagiarizing under her other pen name, the Lauren Ashley
Lauren
pen name, but
Ashley.
I haven't read up on that. I got sidetracked with the most current issue.
Yeah. Yeah, just, making smart decisions all over the place.
I think it is a good discussion, though. It's like, okay, how far do we take things? Like, to be honest, dark romance is a big thing. Big thing. Okay, and the taboo tropes, yeah, like that's already like dark romance, some. Like, I don't like all of them. And the taboo, yeah, that's really, really not my cup of tea, and mostly because these kinds of things. It's like it's just like taking it a step too far. But that's
Yeah.
just me. But don't sit there and condemn somebody and then read it yourself, because you know damn well what it is that you're actually reading and what it is that you're supporting. Just saying. Don't be a
Yeah, don't.
hypocrite.
Yep.
Thankfully, this book will never see the light of day.
No. But there will be another Daddy's Little Girl, don't worry about that.
Yep, somebody else is going to write it.
But as long as we make her 18, it's all okay.
No.
My brain. Anyways, does any do we have any more discussions about anything we discussed today?
I don't think there's anything. I think we've pretty much discussed everything thoroughly.
Sorry
I think
for the
that's enough.
content.
Yeah, just I guess the last message should be just don't go out on the internet and do stupid stuff. Just don't do stupid stuff.
Okay.
Do your own research.
Research.
Yeah, and like my dad says, if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
That's right.
Okay, everybody. Well, I don't know what we are talking about next month. It just depends which dust clouds will be blown our way. But we definitely will discuss it. I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching and subscribe. Okay, see you. Bye.
Bye.